Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about rather or not if we live, in an infinite amount of different dimensions, and if there's an infinite amount of Earths and an infinite amount of you doing an infinite amount of different things. Now, these are all, putting this out here, these are all theories, okay? I'm not saying these are facts. Yeah, I'm not saying, we found proof that it's true. These are theories. Just making sure we're clear on that, okay? Okay, I'm going to talk about a few different theories on what some scientists think on how if we live in a infinite amount of worlds and an infinite amount of us doing an infinite amount of different things and such. And in case you're curious if I believe it or not, me personally, yes, I do agree with it. Rather, if you agree with it or not, I don't know. But here's the video. Okay, the first theory, it's I think it's infinite universe. Basically, how the theory goes is that the universe is infinite, which is known to be a fact. Most scientists would agree. So, there's an finite, meaning there's a limited amount of numbers that particles can rearrange themselves and how they can set each other up. And there's the universe is infinite, and the particles fill up the entire universe. So that would mean that eventually the particles, the way that they're shaping each other and stuff, they would stop. They would end. But if the universe is infinite, that means they'd have to repeat themselves. And if they repeat themselves, they might do it in a different way or the exact same way, thus creating more of use. Like for example, the universe is infinite, and if the particles they have to, eventually when they stop, they have to repeat themselves. The way that they repeat themselves, they're stacked up with each other because you're made out of atoms and particles. Pretty much everything is. That can create a different version of you because the universe is infinite according to scientists. It is infinite. That's a fact. And it's a fact that particles do have a limited amount of ways that they can rearrange themselves. So that means, logically speaking, eventually they'd stop, but then they'd have to repeat. They'd have to start over again. And they might do it in a different way. So that's the first theory. The other theory is black holes. Some people believe that black holes are tunnels to other universes. So basically, how it goes, as you probably know, a black hole can suck up just about everything. There's actually, just a fun fact, that's not true. Uh, Dark energy is not affected by gravity, so black hole, it won't suck dark energy in, or negative energy, whatever you want to call it, same thing. And there's also a thing called Hawking radiation. Particles, once it reaches near the event horizon, they'll split apart. Half of it will get sucked in, the other half will escape. So those are the two things no one thinks it can escape a black hole. But anyways, back to the point. Black hole, they say that it will suck up energy. And they also say that energy cannot be created or destroyed, so the black hole won't be able to destroy the energy. And yes, because it's a black hole to suck things up, it's logically speaking, it probably won't spit it back out. So to explain how this could make sense, it would suck up the energy, and the energy that it would have. Some people think there's a thing called a white hole that's inside of a black hole. White holes, they're the opposite of black holes. They project things out, so they push things out. Some people think there's white holes inside of a black hole. And once they create all of the black holes, they suck up that energy and they create a bunch of energy. It'll go to a white hole and it'll push it somewhere else in space, and that'll create another universe, which could set up. They could set up, and there'd be a bunch of black holes that keep doing that over and over and over and over. So it'd be constantly creating more and more universes. Thus, they could be completely different. They might not even involve you, or they could be different versions of you doing different things, and so on. The other one is parallel universes. Basically, these are dimensions. We know for a fact that there's at least four. Hold on a second. We know that there's a minimum of 4 dimensions. A lot of people believe that the fourth dimension is space and time. That's false. The fourth dimension is known to be, it's basically, it's space. And we live inside of space. Space is the fourth dimension, and we live in the third dimension. Okay? The reason why it's not space and time is because, for one, space and time are two different things, and time exists within every single dimension. It exists in the first, second, third, and fourth dimension. It's a part of every single dimension. Therefore, it cannot be its own dimension. So the fourth dimension, by Einstein's equation, when he wrote T in there, what he meant that time is a part of the fourth dimension in every other dimension. He was not meaning to say that it is a dimension. So the fourth dimension is space, basically. And basically, some people think that there could be an infinite amount of third dimensions, and in every single third dimensions, because that's another dimension, we can't really have access to it, and they could be right by us, and in every single dimension it could be different, and they could be different versions of you, doing different amounts of different things, and they think there might be an infinite amount of third dimensions. Like, for example, think of this cover of the book as the space. And here's pretend this page. This is the third dimension we live in. There could be another dimension that's right by us, like this. Here's another dimension with other things that could live inside of it. Another dimension, things can live inside of it. Another one, and you get the point. Infinite amount of those. And also, a lot of people believe that sometimes those dimensions can be banging into each other, which creates energy, and that would create another universe. And they could occasionally, the dimensions, they'd be touching each other, and they'd be creating other universes constantly. So that's another way. And another one, okay, the third theory, I'm not sure what it's called. I think it's called bubble universes or something like that. Basically, space is constantly expanding, and basically they think that different parts of the universes, eventually they'll stop, and then they'll get smaller, and they'll suck up into when they get tighter, they'll be like a bubble. And in every single one of those bubbles, they're different universes. They all have their different laws of physics, which, I mean, like, how do I put this? It's like here, there's the laws of physics in every single one of them could be different. That could give different laws. Like, it could mean, who knows, in some of those universes, there might be an infinite amount of views on that planet. It's just, it would be different in every single universe. And there could be an infinite amount of different universes. So that's that one. Now, if you're going to ask me, my personal opinion, I think all of these could be right, honestly. I mean, I think that if there's an infinite amount of us doing an infinite amount of different things, I think there's more than one way it can happen. But if I had to narrow it down to one, the one that I believe is the most likely one to be correct, I would say it's the first one that I mentioned in the video, the one with the particles, because it's the only one, really the only one that I can notice. Sorry if I'm wrong, but from what I can notice, it's the only one that actually has facts inside of it, because it's a fact. There's a limited amount of ways that particles can form and move around and form different things. Because you're made out of particles and atoms. Air is made out of particles and atoms. Light's made out of photons, which is a type of atom. A lot of people think that light is not made out of atoms because it has no mass. That's not true. It's true that light does not have any mass. But it is made out of an atom known as a photon. But that atom, unlike all other types of atoms that we know of, has no mass. It's still an atom, but it just doesn't have mass. But anyways, back to the point. So yeah, because it's a fact that, according to most scientists at least, that the universe is infinite, and it's a fact that there's a limited amount of particles that can recreate each other, and it's also a fact that if the universe is infinite, every part of the universe, since everything is made out of atoms and particles, that would mean the entire universe would have to be filled up with them. And if there's a limited amount of ways that particles can form each other, that would mean that eventually, logically speaking, they'd probably have to stop, and then they just repeat themselves, and they might copy each other. They might just repeat themselves in the same way over and over and over, or each way they could be forming differently, creating different things. You know what I mean? So the particles would need to fill up the entire universe. But if particles, if they're not infinite, that would mean they'd have to start over and repeat themselves over and over and over, logically speaking. So yeah, those are some of the most common theories on if we have an infinite amount of universes and an infinite amount of us doing different things. Me personally, I believe that. Leave some comments below on what you think. Just be respectful to each other and everything. Don't try to get into fights and insult me or insult others. Just leave some respectful comments. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Seriously, please, come on. Leave your thoughts below if you believe it or not, or things you could think that can be approved on these theories, or things you think are wrong in these theories. Blah blah blah. Just give me your thoughts. I would like to hear them. I hardly ever get comments on any of my videos, and I'd like that to change. So seriously, come on, I want you to leave a comment below. Me, I believe it. Yes, I believe that because it just seems it seems logical to me. But like I said, these are all theories. None of them are proven to be facts, and in my opinion, they will probably never be proven to be true or false. Because especially the black hole one, since a black hole sucks up everything, and I don't see how if we send anything inside of it to discover what's inside of a black hole, it wouldn't be able to come out unless we can make something that goes faster than the speed of light, which I don't see happening anytime soon, or maybe even at all. I think it can be done, but we don't have anything to make stuff travel that fast, even close to that fast. Light travels at, I think, 186,000 miles per second, and not even light is fast enough to escape a black hole. That's how powerful the gravity is of a black hole. Anyways, yeah. Thanks for watching. Leave some comments below. Subscribe to keep updating. Oh, by the way, if you're watching my videos, if you're keeping up, I'm doing walkthrough videos on a video game called Siphon Filter. I'm still doing those. Like, don't panic. Like, if you're relying on me to beat the video game, Siphon Filter, the shooting game, because I'm not doing it all in one video. I can't do that, so I'm doing it in parts. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, you know what I mean, etc. I'm still showing you guys how to beat the game. I just felt like making this video. I was bored, and I had time. I felt like making this. So I'm still going to be making those. Don't worry. I'm not done with those. Alright. Thanks for watching. Bye.